Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Mounting pressure on government to reopen Alpart Boxite plant. Urgent call for blood donations amid severe national shortage. And later in sports, regular season ends in the Ray & Nephew Premier League. Now the details. Pressure is growing for the government to reopen the Alpart Boxite plant in St. Elizabeth. Opposition spokesman on mining, Philip Paulwell, says too many persons have been struggling since the plant shut down in 2019. He made the comments at a PNP meeting in the parish on Sunday. O'Shane Masters reports.
Continued pressure this afternoon for the government to speed up discussions for production to resume at the Alpart Boxite plant in Nain, St. Elizabeth. The plant's closure since 2019 has left thousands of Jamaicans unemployed. At a post-cabinet press briefing in April last year, Portfolio Minister Floyd Green said that his team from the ministry met with a high-level team from JISCO as part of a feasibility study. At that time, Minister Green said the team will again visit the plant in June, after which they will submit to the government their plan for reopening. However, to date, there has been no update. It's why Shadow Spokesman on Mining Philip Paulwell is urging the government to intervene now.
Pressure now has to be brought to bear to get Alpart open once and for all. And the thing is, the price of aluminum is good. The price of aluminum is good. So now is the time for the plant to be reopened and to be reestablished.
He says the government has been too laid back with the new operators of the plant.
I believe the government will now have to call back in the Chinese and say, listen, the longer this place is shut, is the more difficult it is to have it reopened. And it is unfair for the people of St. Elizabeth for you to have in your possession licenses that guarantee you bauxite for the plant, and the plant is not open, the plant is still shut.
The plant, since becoming operational in 1969, has been closed a total of 3 times: 1985, 2009, and 2019. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, Mr. Paulwell is questioning the delay in talks with JPS over its license. Mr. Paulwell says the government has until July 7 to start negotiations. He argues that there are too many unresolved issues in the license for such action. If you look at the contract
that you signed with me, you will see that all of those things are taken care of. That is, you are responsible when there is high voltage. You are responsible for the damage that they do to your equipment. We are going to have to change some of those things. It is unfair, it is unreasonable. If JPS go high voltage, lick your thing, they must pay to repair them.
Mr. Paulwell says public negotiations aren't ideal, but the opposition will highlight key issues which he will address in the sectoral debate on May 13. The National Blood Transfusion Service is urging Jamaicans to donate blood as the country continues to battle a severe shortage. The situation is worsened by the absence of blood collection centers in 4 parishes, deepening the national supply gap. Details in this report. The country needs approximately 60,000 units of blood annually, but only around 30,000 units are currently being collected.
Currently, we are meeting approximately 50% of the demand. We need 2% of the population to donate once per year. Imagine that, once per year.
This is a significant shortfall that continues to endanger lives and strain the healthcare system.
We all know that blood is always in short supply because we need blood for everything, whether it's during a surgery, whether it's accidents, trauma, or just regular illnesses. Most of them from complications from non-communicable diseases. You need blood to save a life, and most times you need it in an emergency situation.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton highlighted the urgency of the situation. He says 4 parishes still lack a blood collection center. However, he says the ministry is putting plans in place to urgently address this gap.
Those parishes are St. Thomas, St. Mary, Hanover, St. Elizabeth, and I'd like to see all parishes have a blood collection point of reference. And I'm going to be meeting with the team to mandate that they put that in place for the best needed. So at least we have coverage. We have 11 stations across the country currently. We need at least 4 more to get up to 15, maybe even more, so that we can partner more and we can have more frequent calls, and that in terms of proximity and access, we don't have a barrier to persons who want to give.
But the stigma surrounding blood donation remains a major barrier to achieving the national target.
I think education is important, more sensitization, using the various media platform. I think if persons fully understand the extent of blood donation and why they donate in the blood and how they themselves can benefit from this same blood that they donated, I think the attitudes would change.
They were speaking at a national blood drive hosted by the Kiwanis Club over the weekend. Mayor of Port Maria Fitzroy Wilson has responded to residents of Spring Valley and St. Mary about the long-standing issue of overgrown lots in sections of their community.
For too long, we've seen these overgrown lots become a security and a health hazard and nuisance in our community. This area is comprised of 3 lots, and it has been in a state of this for many years. And the Citizen Association and the residents have reached out to the Municipal Corporation, and they said that this has been going on for years. So we have stepped in, spoken with the CEO and the Chief Financial Officers, and we have established some funds, and we are here today to clean up this area.
Mayor Wilson says the corporation will be putting a condition on the properties to reclaim their funds.
The Municipal Corporation will be remunerated from this before any building plans or any sale of this property can come true. So we are not only expending money to do this, but we expect to recoup those costs. Because if we would have served notices on the persons and we can't find them to serve notice on them for them to do these things, it's a health hazard, it's a security hazard, it's a seriously facing of our communities. And we're saying that once you buy a lot, it is your responsibility to pay your property tax and also to maintain those lots.
I feel so happy.
Safer.
Safer, yes, definitely. I mean, if you'll see the land, you can see how bad it was.
Indeed.
And the mayor said he was going to do it, and he started to chop down maybe a couple of weeks ago now. And now today's the day when the bulldozer are in. And I didn't realize it was 3 pieces of land there, so it's brilliant.
The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation has stepped up its drive to restore public order in sections of East Rural St. Andrew. As part of its ongoing efforts, the corporation is tackling the buildup of debris and other waste in the various communities. Karen Simpson reports.
On Friday, residents of Irishtown, Gordontown and Mavis Bank in East Rural St. Andrew saw boots on the ground as multi-agency team descended on their communities. For hours, they attempted to clear piles of debris and large discarded areas that have not only been a sore eye but a hindrance to public order and sanitation.
This is the only main road, and it has been inundated with old vehicles, with junk, with building material, with blocks and sand and other things. And so having served the notice and having given time for persons to remove these materials, they defied the request via the legal notice. And we are here today to carry out the other legal aspect of that notice, which is the enforcement action.
This cleanup operation is part of a wider initiative by the KSAMC to restore civic pride and ensure a cleaner, safer environment across the municipality, especially in areas that have struggled with poor waste disposal and illegal dumping.
I understand the challenges that the residents who are building face as it relates to space, but at the same time, we can't overlook the level of impediment and encroachment that these things are causing on the road. We have a responsibility, and we have to, one, maintain public order and public safety. So for persons who have been placing sands and gravel, and trust me, there has been a lot, I'm going to ask person to cease and desist.
Zone 4 Commander Inspector Hugh Lewis says maintaining public order requires collaboration, noting that the involvement of multiple agencies is essential to achieving lasting results.
So in terms of the boulders along the side of the roadways, the land slippages, right? Significant portion of those were cleared along the Irish Town Main Road. So you find that both single lane traffic and double lane traffic can better be facilitated going down and up the Irish Town Main Road with the landslides being cleared.
Carrie-Ann Simpson, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, the KSAMC is issuing a warning to residents of East Rural St. Andrew. City Inspector Alric Francis says individuals who fail to comply with public order regulations will face the full brunt of the law.
I'm asking persons who have the challenge of space to first come to us. Let us review the area, examine the area to see if it is allowed, what we can work out. But if you just go ahead and just drop it, and some of these areas that we have seen, we would have given a 1 month notice, a 2 month notice, and no compliance. You cannot have these things on the roadway perpetual.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Central High School students in Clarendon recently tackled sea pollution in Rocky Point Beach cleanup. The students rolled up their sleeves and got to work. Large bags filled with containerized garbage line the shore of Rocky Point, Clarendon. This as students from Central High School tackled one of the area's growing environmental problems, debris polluting the sea.
Just along this area here at Rocky Point, and we went inland as well. Some of the drains, we can see why, the debris would end up straight into the water here. So we went inland and we managed to collect quite a bit of debris and rubbish and so on.
The beach cleanup was a team effort by different clubs at the school. The initiative was led by Vice Principal of Students Affairs, Collis Spirit Selvin.
A number of our clubs and societies at school decided that they wanted to do a major collaborative community work. And we decided that we would do a beach cleanup. So a number of clubs, such as our math club, key club, science club is here, tourism club is here. We also have our UN club as well.
As they collected the trash, students discovered all kinds of waste, plastic bottles, old containers, and even damaged fishing gear. Many were surprised at how much garbage was hidden along the coast.
It's very interesting to see all these new surroundings because I'm not used to them and see how they affect the marine life, because when I was digging up the sand, everywhere I turn there's a new garbage bag, and I can't tell you the last time I saw black plastic bags, like the small ones, because those things have been extinct for a very long time. So it was so interesting to see them again buried deep beneath the sand.
The school says this is just the beginning. They hope to continue the cleanup initiative and are encouraging other schools across the island to get involved too. It's now time for the Business Minute.
EdgeChem says it is seeking new export markets to drive foreign exchange earnings as an integral part of its revenue base. The company, which currently exports to the USA and the Caribbean, is also seeking to expand its local operations. In that regard, it will be opening a new store in the Draxall St. Anne-based C4 complex, which is also occupied by Quartz, Starbucks, KFC, and Knutsford Express. Founder and Deputy Executive Chairman of EdgeChem, Doreen Frankson, says the opening of the office in Draxall is part of its strategy to bring its products closer to the customers. Further afield, millions of people who borrowed money for their education are at risk of having their benefits or wages garnished as the federal government resumes student loan collections. The Trump administration is restarting collection of defaulted federal student loans Monday after a 5-year pause related to the COVID-19 pandemic. It's part of a broader effort to roll back loan forgiveness policies and dismantle the Department of Education. Defaulting usually means missing payments for 270 days or more. The government says that can now lead to garnishment of state or federal benefits, and it will start garnishing wages this summer. The Education Department estimates about 5 million borrowers have defaulted on student loans. It says another 4 million are at least 90 days late on payments. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Shane Masters.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, Trinidad and Tobago is to partner with Grenada for the exploration of an offshore gas well. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissesa made the announcement following the swearing-in of her cabinet on the weekend. This comes as the United States pulled the license for the Dragon Field deal with Venezuela. Prime Minister Persad-Bissesa declared that the Dragon Field deal was dead. On the international scene, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to respond to Yemen's Houthis and their Iranian backers after the rebels struck a section of Israel's main airport, wounding 6 people and prompting flight suspension Sunday. The strike came hours before Israel's army confirmed the call-up of tens of thousands of reservists to expand the 19-month war in Gaza against the militant Palestinian group Hamas. The army confirmed that the attack, which left a large crater in the perimeter of Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion Airport, was launched from Yemen and had struck despite several attempts to intercept the missile. And Brazilian police say they thwarted a bomb attack planned for Lady Gaga's concert on Copacabana Beach in Rio de Janeiro on Saturday. The civil police of Rio de Janeiro state, in coordination with the Justice Ministry, said suspects had recruited participants to carry out attacks using improvised explosives, and the plan was aimed at gaining notoriety on social media. The person responsible for the plan and a teenager were arrested. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Carrie Simpson.
Thank you, Carrie. And we take another break. Sports is next.